So the first piece of advice that I would tell myself is that you should always be true to yourself and don't let other people get in the way of you doing something. If you like to do something, or if you like someone, or if people talk about you because you like that person, you can't listen to them because you have to follow what you love. You shouldn't pretend to be something that you're not, and you shouldn't do things that you don't want to do just to be cool. You should do things for yourself and only for yourself. You don't want to do, let's say your friends are going to a party and you don't want to go, but you feel like you have to go, because that's happened to me so many times this year. All my friends want to go to parties and do things, but I'm just not into that stuff. I don't like that stuff, and I've known from experience from my family, people have been alcoholics and drug addicts, and I don't want to become like that, so I don't do those things, and I don't like to put myself in a situation where I could maybe do it. So sometimes it's hard for me because I never know what to do. If they're going to the party and going to do all that stuff, what do I do? So sometimes I'll go and I'll drive, and I always know what I need to do, and I always know what's good for me. Even if you want to try to be cool, you shouldn't let that come in the way of you being safe or something happening to you or anything like that. You should just do what you want to do and stay true to yourself, because doing other things and trying to make people like you because of that never works. Another thing that I would tell myself is that always be respectful to elders and to people. Myself is that always prepare for the best but expect for the worst, because you don't want to let yourself down. And that's happened to me multiple times. I always get my hopes up for everything, and then you just get shut down sometimes, and it's not a good feeling. And always just expect for the worst. Not that it's going to happen, but expect for the worst. And if you don't, another thing is that if you don't succeed in what you do the first time, you always have to keep trying and trying and trying. What was it like growing up as an only child with Holocaust survivor parents?
Well, Rachel, let me tell you, it was different. Obviously, my parents went through probably one of the biggest tragedies of the 20th century, if not the biggest. And coming out of the Holocaust, it's hard to think of parents being normal, raising kids. I was lucky. Most of my friends who had Holocaust survivors as parents had a tough time with it. They were also immigrants to this country. So really, they didn't speak any English. They learned English through me. And obviously, they smothered me with a lot of love and affection. And fortunately, they were normal. Not like most Holocaust survivors who, if they had any psychological problems or anything, I never saw it. And so it was a very loving, a very supportive environment every day, every morning. My mother would always whisper in my ear in Yiddish that you can do anything you want. This is America. You have a great opportunity. Don't forget to go to college and always read. So I was very fortunate in that sense. On the other side, I became so outgoing because I didn't have any brothers and sisters. So my friends became kind of an extended family. Everyone in the block knew me. Everyone in the neighborhood knew me. And eventually everyone in the city knew me. Because I was so outgoing, I always was the life of the party. I always had an optimistic view, because I figured out, as I got older, life is going to be tough on you. Life is going to hit you in the face with a lot of negatives. But when, when you go through something, I started to understand in my teenage years, when you go through something like the Holocaust, how bad can my life be? Oh, I got a B instead of an A. Oh, I didn't get the best bicycle. I got a hand-me-down. Or, oh, I'm not living in a mansion. Those things did not even resonate to me. So I think at a very young age, I understood the preciousness of growing up in a very supportive environment, in a very non-judgmental environment, but also kind of reflecting on that. What made it more interesting was because since my parents came to this country really almost middle age, they knew nothing about America. They didn't speak any English. So really they learned about America, the United States, the government, and English through me. So I became kind of a teacher for them, educating them about the country by going to school, by having friends on the street, by having friends over. So they, in their world, became more expansive because of my growing up in the United States and in Los Angeles. And it was very supportive and made me who I am today. I usually am very upbeat, very positive. I don't think that anything besides a death or a tragedy really affects me. And it's a very, very positive thing for me growing up as an only child.
How has the passing away of your mother affected your life?
Well, in a lot of positive ways, and obviously in a very sad way. My mother was my anchor. She was the one who really transcended two worlds, the old world of Judaism with the new world of Judaism. She was my strength. I would see, someone who lost all of her family, probably hundreds. She came from a family of 8 brothers and sisters, and only one sister survived her. So she, through all of her pain and everything, really doted on me. I was the heir apparent. I was the prince of the manor. She really gave me nurturing that I loved and needed. She was my rock and let me be successful in many ways, regardless if she decided it was good or bad. If that's what I wanted to do, she was always supportive. And her passing, thank God she lived to the age of 88, and she saw me get married and have my great children. And she was really a rock. She was even a rock for my kids, who still remember her fondly and with much affection. And she really was an example of that continuous Jewish history going back thousands of years, that link. But she was a very important link up from the European Judaism. There were 11 million Jews, 3.5 million in Poland. She was a Polish Jew from Lodz, and she gave me that kind of whole history, culture that was part of Eastern European Jewish culture, from music to Yiddish to poems to Yiddishkeit to davening to mitzvahs. It was, she was so strong, so happy. I remember at her funeral we had 8 rabbis there. And one of them told me, he says, you know what, what your mother went through and how she survived and raised you in this country and made you the person you are today. She was a great role model for me, and she was a great role model for the kids, and she always had a smile on her face. That's what always I will remember in everyone else.
What's the most important thing that you've learned being a parent to your kids?
Well, the important thing is that since I was an only child, kids were very important to me. Thank God I have 3 beautiful, wonderful, smart children who really understood. I always told them the most important thing in this life is to have good midot. And when you have good midot, everything else emanates out of there to the positive. Be kind to other people. Treat people as you want to treat yourself. And thank God they're growing up terrific. I went through the whole yeshiva system in Jewish day school here in LA.
What are the 4 pieces of advice that you would give yourself?
Well, thank you for asking me that question, young lady. The advice I give is, firstly, to listen to your gut. And I found that in life, that every time I listened to my gut, I was right. So you just need to really honor what you feel and go with it. Next, I would say make your family a priority. It's hard sometimes when you're a teenager to do that because you got friends and school and all your other outside things, and you just take your family for granted a little. So you need to take a moment and just get yourself around being with your family more. Next, I would tell myself not to get married till after college. I think getting married younger inhibits your ability to get ahead in life by not getting through college and getting those pieces of the puzzle out of the way earlier in life. So take care of business first, then get married. And lastly, I would say that there are a lot of decisions you need to make in life, so you really need to think about them before you make them and make your best decision, and just know that they're important decisions to make in life, so think about it seriously.